This weekend, the return of Gervonta Tank Davis will be an interesting one. Considered by many as one of the best lightweights today, Gervonta Tank Davis comes back after a long 14-month layoff following his most popular win versus Ryan Garcia, dropping and stopping the 24-year-old Ryan Garcia in the 7th round, becoming one of the biggest, if not the biggest pay-per-view event of last year. Having all those personal issues that kept him out of the ring for so long, this year Gervonta is trying to bounce back and get that hype going once again like he did last year, trying to do it taking on contender Frank Martin. Now you may be asking yourself, MCO, who the hell is Frank Martin? Looking into Frank Martin, he actually started boxing at the age of 17 years old. Some would call that a late start, but so far he's done very well for himself in the sport, signing a former unified champion, now promoter Errol Spence Jr. Today, Frank Martin has a record of 18 wins, 0 losses, 0 draws, with 12 of his wins coming by way of knockout. That's a 66% knockout rate, making his televised debut against Jerry Perez in April of 2021, beating up Perez and flooring him in the 7th round, which led to the referee stopping the match. Soon after, Frank Martin got himself 2 more victories. In summer of that year, Martin took on Jackson Mariñez, someone who before that put the beats by Dre on Rolly Romero, losing a controversial unanimous decision. That was for one of the versions of the WBA title in 2020. Many people still calling it a robbery till this day, myself included. Martin was able to beat down and show his power against the Dominican, stopping him in the final round, letting us know that he's actually able to bring his power into those moments really deep into the fight, which is really useful for times where maybe the fight isn't going your way. That can make a fighter more dangerous. Keeping active, Martin fought undefeated lightweight Michael Rivera with a record of 24 wins and 0 losses. Martin managed to drop Rivera in the 7th round, then going on to outboxing him, winning a lopsided unanimous decision, ending a very good and active year for Frank Martin. Frank would go on to return in 2023, but only having one fight this year, taking on undefeated former Olympian Artem Haramtunyam. In this fight, he went back and forth, losing and winning rounds, having a very close fight leading into the 12th, which was very dangerous because it could possibly result in a draw or even worse, a loss for Frank Martin. So Frank Martin went out there in the 12th trying to take it out of the judges' hands as much as he could, and that resulted in him actually dropping Haramtunyam in the 12th round via a body shot, which to the judges that looked like a very good deciding factor on who to give this fight to, and that was Frank Martin, winning by a unanimous decision, a very controversial unanimous decision, as a lot of people do feel like that was a robbery and that it should have been a loss to Frank Martin, but in the end Frank Martin did take the victory. Frank lined himself up later that year to take on his 3rd undefeated fighter in a row, Mr. Shakur Stevenson, but that ended up falling through after Frank Martin pulled out due to some negotiation issues. Shakur ended up calling him out, saying that he was just scared and that he never really wanted that fight in the first place. Martin stayed quiet for whatever remained of 2023, and it wasn't until March of this year when the fight against Davis was announced, months after the first rumors started with the whole Davis Martin thing, that was the main reason he actually pulled out of the Shakur Stevenson fight. But like I mentioned, Frank Martin so far has shown some good boxing, some good footwork. Like they say, no fighter is perfect. There are going to be some flaws, and with Frank Martin, I do feel like some of his flaws are that he does like to get hit a little too much. Sometimes he likes to trade, and that could be very bad against a guy like Gervonta Davis. And also in the lead up to this, there has been a lot of rumors saying that Frank Martin is actually very weak to the body, and even some moments shared of his previous fights where he does look a little uncomfortable when he gets hit to the body. The big thing here is that this is going to be the first time that Frank Martin actually steps up to a different level, so we don't actually know how good he really is. Gervonta Davis is used to fighting under these bright lights, and at the presser yesterday, Team Davis was already giving it away that Frank Martin doesn't really have as much experience as Tank, and the question of that would be then, why are you fighting Frank Martin if, he doesn't even have as much experience as you were saying? I feel like Gervonta Davis should already be past that. He should be taking on guys like Shakur or something like that, but anyways, we're here. Frank Martin is the guy that's going to be across from Gervonta Davis. So moving on to my pick for this fight, I will be going with Gervonta Davis. I feel like if Frank Martin isn't careful enough, we could see this fight ending early, or maybe Frank Martin just pulls up a whole upset and shocks us all and does something crazy, which I don't really see, but we'll see. Anything can happen in the sport.